All right, let's talk about something we almost never question, the business of health. But we're not going to look at it from the perspective of care. No, we're going to look at it from the perspective of commerce.
So let's just jump right in with a single question that kind of flips everything on its head. What if sickness wasn't just a problem to be solved, but a product to be sold? Just let that sink in for a minute.
And right here, you can see the core conflict. The official story, the one we all hear, is that our health system is designed to make us well. But what if there's a different economic reality at play? A reality where, from a pure business point of view, a healthy person is actually a lost customer.
To put it even more bluntly, you could boil this whole economic logic down to one pretty chilling sentence. Health is not where the money is. It's a provocative statement for sure, but it points to an incentive structure that's really hard to ignore.
So what does this business model actually look like? Well, you could call it the repeat customer model. It's a system where recurring, long-term treatment is way more profitable than a one-time cure or, and this is the really important part, prevention. Think about it. It's the difference between a one-time purchase and a lifelong subscription. This brings us to a really critical idea, the value proposition of a patient. You see, in a purely commercial system, value isn't just about getting someone healthy, it's about engagement. A healthy person, they don't really need much. But someone managing a chronic condition, well, they become a predictable, long-term source of revenue. A repeat customer who is locked into the system.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little like a grand conspiracy, right? But the analysis suggests it's way more subtle than that. It's not really about bad people with bad intentions. It's about systemic incentives that just operate quietly, right out in the open. So the real question is, how is this dependency created and maintained so subtly?
Well, the first part of the answer is time. You know, poor health rarely shows up like a lightning strike. As it says here, sickness happens slowly. It's this gradual erosion over years, maybe even decades, which makes it incredibly sneaky.
And because it's so gradual, it becomes almost impossible to connect the symptoms back to the real root cause. The slow process just makes the source so much harder to notice. I mean, think about it. Highly processed foods, basically designed to be addictive, are just normal. Chronic stress is just a standard feature of modern life. When the very things that make us sick are woven into our culture, how are we supposed to identify them as the problem?
The second piece of the puzzle is information. We're hardly ever taught the complex dance between our food, our stress, and our sleep. Instead, our understanding of health often gets boiled down to these simple, marketable slogans.
And this quote right here, this explains exactly why. A complex truth, like the fact that your health is the result of thousands of tiny daily choices, that's a really hard thing to package and sell. But a simple solution, a quick fix, a pill, some kind of magic bullet, now that is a product.
Okay, it is absolutely essential that we pause here for a really important clarification. The argument being made is very explicit. This is not an attack on medicine or on doctors. Modern medicine is an absolute miracle for emergencies and acute care. The critique here is aimed squarely at the economic incentives of the system, not the intentions of the incredible people working inside it.
So if this isn't an attack, then what is it? Well, like it says here, it's a call for awareness. It's a call to just open our eyes and try to understand the commercial forces that are shaping the most personal aspect of our lives, our own health. And you know what? That's where the power shifts right back to us. Because real health isn't built in an emergency room. It's built in the quiet moments of our everyday lives. It is personal, it is daily, and it is silent. It's the food you decide to eat, the walk you choose to take, the extra hour of sleep you decide to prioritize. And all of this brings us to the final, really challenging thought from this analysis. The moment you begin to question, are you still just a customer? The implication here is huge. See, a system of commerce depends on passive consumers. But the second you become an active, questioning participant in your own well-being, the whole dynamic changes. You stop being just a number on a balance sheet, and you start becoming the agent of your own health.